Summary of the Eighth Habit by Stephen R. Covey, free audiobook. Introduction. The first 7 habits will lead you to the 8th habit. Be authoritative, use your voice, attempt to help people. Plunge into the intensity of progress together with your mind, soul, heart, and body. Covey fights for the facility of choice. Every human has 4 essential elements consistent with him: body, mind, soul, heart. The successful people have 4 extra qualities that can't be found among ordinary citizens: clear vision, strict discipline, burning passion, and moral conscience. It is tough being an individual with integrity, but that doesn't need to stop you from becoming one. The ultimate goal that each individual should pursue is to manage and master all of the 8 habits. Covey never limits its books by targeting particular groups of readers, which are more likely to have an interest in reading it. The 8th habit intrigues people. It helps them to beat challenges by encouraging them to implement the elemental right habits in real-world situations. It is tough to seek out a transparent, accurate, and straightforward-going book, written at the very best level. The 8th habit book is useful for each individual capable of taking subsequent step in pursuance of self-appreciation and freedom. About Stephen R. Covey. During his career, he has established himself together of the best businessmen, philosophers, theorists, and speakers of the 20th century. 80 years later, Covey gave up the ghost and left a legacy for future generations. His whole life was dedicated to science, progress, and helping others. He was the chairman of Franklin Covey Corporation and therefore the author of several best-selling books, including Very First Thing First, The 8th Habit, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Inspiring others to seek out their voices. Leadership isn't about roles and positions, it's about helping others to ascertain and achieve their worth and potential. Once you have found your voice, you'll inspire others to seek out theirs. This involves leading by principles, affirming others, uniting them through a standard vision, and empowering them with resources and accountability. The challenge today is to create and run organizations during a way that brings out people's voices and directs their potential toward higher organizational goals. Within the book, Covey expands on our leadership challenge today, and the way to use the whole-person paradigm as a crucial diagnostic tool to analyze and predict the problems by watching the symptoms. He further explains the 4 leadership roles: modeling, pathfinding, aligning, and empowering. To deal with these problems, get a replica of our full book summary for an in-depth overview of the insights and tips for every of the 4 leadership roles, e.g. the way to be a task model to create trust, find alternative paths and build synergistic teams, help people to win, and the way to shut the execution gap to realize greatness. By applying the 8th habit, we will truly achieve greatness in the least levels. Personal greatness, as we discover our 3 birth gifts and cultivate them to demonstrate vision, discipline, passion, and conscience. Leadership greatness, as we elect to seek out our voice and encourage others, no matter our position, and organizational greatness, as organizations systematically unlock, align, and direct people's potential toward higher goals. Covey believes that the IKW age are going to be followed by the age of wisdom, where human knowledge and potential are going to be directed during a principled way, to serve a greater good or purpose. He urges each folks to cultivate the 8th habit, and to use our voices wisely to serve others. Find your voice. The first part of the book focuses on the way to find your voice. This includes using your birthrights or birth gifts, and expressing your voice. We're all born with birth gifts of talents, intelligences, and infinite potential. Unfortunately, most of those gifts aren't opened or used. 3 of your most vital birth gifts are the liberty to settle on, natural laws/principles, and 4 intelligences/capacities, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Get more details about your 3 key birth gifts from the book or our full book summary, including the way to develop your 4 intelligences. The 8th habit summary. We as a society are handling serious problems associated with management because some organizations are functioning just like the companies within the industrial era. For example, the physicians within the medieval period wont to practice bloodletting. Imagine yourself during a hospital severely wounded, and you've got doctors who prescribe you abnormal treatments and medications. It seems barbaric from today's standpoint, but some time past having leeches on the body was a symbol of recovery. Their primary task was to draw blood from debilitated persons who were seriously infected. In general, the people believe that leeches are capable of purifying the blood, so, the animosity are going to be sucked by them. Fortunately, the drugs progressed, and therefore the paradigm shifted soon after the arrival of scientific theory, saving many lives. You have to remember that a model is compelling. The normal industrial era standard wanted to stay people together. The goal was to form them become dependent out of raw outputs like shoes and garments. As a consequence of that, people were treated as objects. Wealthy industrialists somehow managed for a really while to use the people like inputs for disposable use, disregarding persons' fundamental human rights and their moral responsibilities. In their eyes, they were just expendable goods, not individuals with heart, mind, and spirit, but rather as animals which needed to be controlled and ruled. The humanity has begun of this era, however, the circumstances haven't changed significantly since then, the essential paradigm continues its work. Even within the 21st century, the exploration of workers still exists. The businesses approach them more carefully to squeeze them out and make them perform more efficiently. If we put cynicism aside, you'll see that this book is worth reading, The Eighth Habit. The credit goes to Covey for his dedication and vision. He didn't want to rest on his reputation and just write a daily, non-threatening guidebook that might lead him to further success. Covey avoids mediocrity, everything about him is transparent and straight. Consistent with him, the bulk of employees today are mistreated. The society suffers emotionally as a result of a bad working atmosphere, an unsupportive environment no matter the dimensions, shape, and orientation of the organization. Covey insists and advises managers and employers to treat others as they might wish to be treated, as citizenry. The Eighth Habit invests within the notion that the knowledge worker must incite a change in employers' behavior. In pursuance of a far better organization system, we must witness a replacement unspoken, unwritten, and informal deal to satisfy both parties. It can only be done if the new paradigm basis relies on respect by all sides. Key lessons from the Eighth Habit. 1. Completely transform your life with the principle-centered living concept. 2. The principle is under constant improvement. 3. The most things should be your priority. Reach your full potential. For an individual to seek out its unique voice, it must be able to take full advantage of its innate potential. God has given us the best gift. We mustn't become irresponsible individuals incapable of exploring our inner capacities. You are granted a choice, you'll either act or react, it's up to you. Don't suppress people's opinion. Eventually, leadership may be a difficult term to know. Thousands of various views on leadership are available. However, the simplest things to explain it might be the power to assist people reaching their full potential and actual worth. The industrial age perspective tried to suppress the facility of thinking. The goal was to stay the workers stranded in poverty. Today's leaders must make an attempt to eradicate that sort of leadership entirely. Serving others is the ultimate goal. After all, the sole path to happiness is to assist others. The Eighth Habit book encourages organizations to rework themselves and their orientation.
Did you like this audiobook summary? Click the like button now to support our channel and click subscribe if you want to get notified each time we post a new free audiobook summary on YouTube.